Well, I just like to say the culture of today. Don't forget about those people that make this happen. Because we talk about evolution, right? But there is no evolution if you forget about the people. Take care of your people. Take care of those one that put in work in order to build this culture, because their life are precious. And we don't live 250 years in order, you know, to one day realize that maybe we're supposed to give back when it was the right time. You gotta do, if you do what you feel, but be true to yourself and be real. Don't say things that you don't believe it. Just do what
Ah,
you believe it, and put in work. Put your money where your mouth is. That's what I like to say, because
The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Flash Talks, history worth listening to. Like every show, I'm excited for this one. Man, this is a good one. I'd like to introduce to you the next one, also known as the Dreamer, born as Maurizio Cannavò. He's widely regarded as a b-boy icon. Man, to me, he's still a legend to this day and a pioneer in the hip hop scene in Italy and around the world. Inspired by the New York City legends in the 80s, he began his dance journey in 1984, or maybe even before that, and has since been a DJ, artist, songwriter, and producer. He is credited for creating many dance moves in the b-boy world and has a unique style that has been praised by legends like Ken Swift, Mr. Wiggles, and not only them too, but everyone around the world is in love with this guy. In the 90s, the next one moved to the US and became a member of the legendary Rocksteady crew. And that's around the time when I met the brother. And was part of the first hip hop musical world tour called Jam on the Groove. He founded Next Level Entertainment and released the album Straight from the Heart, featuring Afrika Bambaataa. He has continued to produce music for the various artists and also worked in TV, theater, and radio. Currently, the next one is also a vinyl collector and will do anything for his records. And we're going to talk about that one. We got some really good stories. His contribution and dedication to the art forms have been recognized and respected globally, sharing his knowledge and expertise with others. His contribution to the scene and the dedication to hip hop have been recognized and respected globally. And he has been invited to judge competitions, participate in panel discussions, hold workshops, and DJ at the hottest spots. With over 30 years of experience in the game, the next one is a true hip hop veteran, and his versatility and passion for the art form continues to inspire the new generations of artists around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mauricio, the next one. Mauricio, what's
My
going
man,
on?
Flash, my man, long time. What's up,
Man,
everybody? Welcome. We're gonna have some good time together.
yes, yes, man.
Ah,
It's an honor to have you on the show. How you like the
wow,
intro, brother?
wow, bro. You dig some Japan stuff that I used to do in Japan. Wow.
Man, thank you for being part of the show, man. I know me and you've been going back and forth over and over trying to
Oh
trying to
yeah,
make this happen. But we're busy, we're doing this, and we're here
yeah.
now. So one of the first thing I like to do is basically thank you and say, hey man, I want to give you my flowers now that I'm here. You're here, we're still here. You're one of the brothers in the entire world that man has been an inspiration for so many people. Back then, 2000, now we're in 2023, and still everybody is like, Mauricio, the next one. And your name is gonna live on forever, man, because you're one of those icons that just once you mention Mauricio, the next one, immediately people go, "Oh my God, a beast!"
Wow.
Like till this day, man. And me and you go way back, early '90s.
Oh yeah.
so
Definitely.
so so you came to New York. We met. We hung out. We partied a lot. We did a lot of crazy stuff.
Yes, sir.
so
Fun
so
time.
maybe we'll
Quality
throw a
time.
little bit of the stories from back then. But we wanna start with the first question. How were you introduced to the hip hop culture? And I want you to tell me, Mauricio, like when you were really young, let's say Mauricio at 10 years old, like young Mauricio, and where were you at? Like before you saw rap, before you saw graffiti, before you saw everything. Like talk to me about how it was introduced to you.
Well, to go way back in my early days, first of all, my journey started. I was born in Sicily, and south side of Italy. At the age of 3, my family moved for work, moved to the north side in Torino, and everything changed. Completely different environment, colder weather. Yeah, as I say, everything was kind of different. Um, I was into I was into comics, Marvel heroes, DC comics. Yeah, I was into martial arts, Bruce Lee, all the Shaolins, Jackie Chan. All that stuff. That's the type of inspiration I got it from this culture that was surround me everywhere. And the Show Brothers, they was coming up, every week with different movies. I was going crazy, and all that type of stuff was like a big energy and big opening for my imagination to in order to build my character, my vision. And when when I saw the very first time hip hop, it was like blowing my mind
Like
because
what year, if you could think about?
it was around 83, 84.
80,
Officially
34.
officially 84 for sure.
Now
It
you're
was
in
about
Torino? You're in
it
Torino
was,
over there.
yes, it was on TV by mistake. I watched this video clip from Malcolm McLaren Buffalo Girls featuring Rap
Oh,
Crew,
yes, yes.
and that's when I saw these brothers. They was looking like superheroes to me. So I was like, wow, they doing all this crazy stuff. So my imagination somehow some way connected dots here and there between comics, between martial art heroes, between um all the stories I used to watch in the movies, like Hercules and the 12 Tribes, stuff like that.
Yes, yes.
That to me was like, wow, this is incredible. Everything is so connected. And before then, it's funny because I used to do judo, and the moment I saw hip hop, it was like my mind started flipping because I used to grab at my opponent in order to fight, and I start top rocking, and my master was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" After a while, and everybody start getting involved as well, and my master was like, "Yo," my sensei was like, "What are you gonna do?" Right? And
Yes.
take a decision. Are you gonna focus on the martial art, or are you gonna jump into something else? And that's when I decided was my passion took over. Decide for me. It was like it was. I could you can't lie to yourself. The first lie you do it is when you don't uh, appreciate what's going on in yourself. So
Yes, yes.
it's like you buy the apple and you know it's so sweet and you're gonna lie to yourself. Nah, I love it. So that's how was it.
Now you're in Torino. You're watching the Shaw Brothers, all the movies, all the Shaolin movies. I'm gonna imagine you were collecting comic books.
I
You were
collect comics just like my records on the
yes,
back.
which you have like a my God, you have like the
You
most
know,
amazing collection I've seen so far.
you know what is funny because back then, my in my youth, we used to gambling with comics.
Wow, really? So you do trade like I'll buy you your sneakers
we,
and
we
give you
used to
10
play
magazines.
we used to play cards. On the flip side of the cards, there was like, oh, if you match the last number, you take everything. So it's like,
Oh,
so
snap.
we had no money, so we was like we were betting comics.
So you
We
will have a comic book that is Superman, and then the person is has
Mo-
Spider-Man, and
Marvel.
you say, let's bet for that.
No, it was even more. It's like you play like a poker,
Poker,
right?
yes.
So you're like, yeah, there's three Marvel heroes like Thor, Fantastic Four, and Daredevil, right? And he was like,
Wow.
you know what, 3 plus 10. So we had a stock during the
So
game. We had a
and then
stock
you take everything at the end?
game, and so if you win, it'd be like sweeping and taking everything.
Oh my.
So
So how do
I had
you
like,
win a lot? Do you win a lot?
oh man, I used to win so much, so
Really?
so much. Even sports player, sports players, the
Yes, yes. The playing cards for like
playing
baseball
cards
and
with sports player like that. We used to play that, and again we used to bet or comics, or yeah, most of the time comics.
that's crazy. Now, you how old were you around that time?
Or between 10, 11, 12, 14. That was the time we used to
Now,
play a
now, now in Torino around that time, were you mostly at home hanging out, or you will be in the streets going everywhere?
lot. At that time I was still more quiet. Let's say I used to spend a lot of time at home because I was into drawing. So
Okay.
basically I was like spend a lot of time drawing my characters of I was making my stories, my superhero stories.
Nice,
I
nice.
always I always like to personalize my imagination and put it down, so creating my own styles. But I used to draw everything. So everything I always appreciate, I put myself 100% into
Now,
it.
you have brothers and sister with you in the house, or you were the
Yeah,
only child? Oh, so you
yeah,
have brothers and sister.
yeah. I had mine was a big family, three sisters, two brothers, but two older brothers. One was living in Sicily, another one was living in Switzerland. And I was at the house with my two older sister and a younger one. And so it was a three sister, me, and my mom and my father.
Wow. So now you around. There's a lot of women in the house. Only you and your dad are the only men in the house, right?
Yeah.
So now that were they taking care of you, or would you be the kid, the brother that's taking care of your sisters?
Well, I was one before the last one, so I was the
Okay. So
basically
will you consider yourself like the middle child, kind of like the black sheep?
I was almost the youngest one. So basically, everybody was taking care of me, but you know, you're always trying to take it your own pride.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Now you're in Torino and you're watching all these amazing things happening. You see
Yeah,
the art, you see comic. How was it that you started transitioning into seeing culture, hip hop, when you started connecting the dots from graffiti, breaking, DJing, b-boys, like everything? When was it you were like, oh, okay? Like, when
well,
was the first introduction to you?
put it like this, as I say, back then I wasn't going that much everywhere. That mean mainly I was staying around the neighborhood. Okay, I don't think it's that difference. What was happening in New York back then? It's like everybody stick on their own neighborhood.
Yeah, you had your own little clique.
You know what I mean? You don't go too much everywhere. That
N-
started when I start traveling with the dance, but I always be in a position that who are you to separate this from that? When I saw all the package, that was like, whoa, that's incredible. All those elements all together, it was like, I love it. I want to learn it all. I want to try it all. And so I never put myself in a position, to separate things, divide things. I
I see what you're
was
saying.
almost, I was more like I want to incorporate this.
Yeah, you want to incorporate everything that you see and
Yeah,
learn.
because I was like, I stay humble. I never really in a position to like. You don't know enough to separate this from that. Who are you to do that? You probably, if probably all these elements is if it's all together, it's gotta be a meaning behind this. But as a kid, that was my imagination. That was like, okay, I might be like this because nobody gave me the book of instructions. You know what I mean?
Yes. Now, do you see turntablists scratching around that time? B-boys or B-girls throwing down graffiti in the wall? It was Torino, not like New York City. Was it kind of gritty and dark, and like, like the 80s back then? The 80s in New York was pretty crazy. So was it different, or was it very beautiful? Completely
Well,
different.
no, no, no. Torino. Sometimes they compare like Detroit,
Really?
like more like a factories. You know,
Okay, okay.
it it wasn't really. Torino is a nice city, but living in the suburbs area, you don't know that much about the city. You know about the funny thing is around me there was all about projects. When I remember when first time Guru or J Master J came out at home, they'd be like, funny. That reminds me of home.
Wow.
Yeah, and when they got in at the crib and they saw all the pictures I had hanging on my wall, they were like, "Yo, you got some friends of mine hanging on your wall. How come?" To me, it was like, I love this culture. So that to
Yeah.
me,
So now you were in the house. You lived in a house or an apartment in Torino?
apartment, apartment.
Oh, so you live more in the city. Like, it's not like, because you have to understand that everyone from America, when they think of Italy, they're like, oh, the vineyards, the wine, beautiful mountain. I know they have that, but
Of course.
everyone always thinks that that's Italy. They never think there's like a urban area. There's like people never think that.
Well, obviously you have urban area and you have all the classic panorama pictures that you see all over the places. But yeah, it's a balance between all these elements, like every city. But Torino is not like Rome or Milan days, more like let's say mainstream city. Okay,
Yes, yes, and that's what everyone in the U.S. gets.
Torino,
We never get, of course, a postcard from from your area.
exactly,
So
exactly,
yeah,
exactly, and Torino basically was the right environment for the hip hop culture.
wow. So now, what were you seeing like at that time? Like besides everything that you were mentioning.
Well, I remember in the '80s when they the Warriors, the movie, right? Remember the Warriors?
Oh, of course, the Warriors.
So they used to have gangs, and every weekend they used
Also in
to.
Torino too.
Oh yeah, they used to have gangs, and they used to fight every from neighborhoods. With
So were they kind of watching the Warriors and
get
emulating that?
inspired, get inspired.
They had the jackets with the name in the back and everything.
Sort, not like a professional like that. Like he was more like a, let's say some poor brothers.
Okay, now were they rocking the same colors? Is the question.
Yeah, they didn't weird like that, but they were playing like that.
Ah,
Okay,
so now were they playing hip hop? You were listening to it, and you see the brothers and sisters like
no, it
into
wasn't.
everything.
No, when they were involved in that type of stuff was going on in the Warriors movie, but they wasn't into hip hop culture because
Ah.
hip hop is not from over here. But Torino, when hip hop finally came out in Italy, that's when Torino became a sort of not on the same level, not on the same scale, but was like a New York for Italy back then.
Oh.
Because everybody, put it like this, in the early 85, like this, we used to have Zulu jams with MCs, DJ, graffiti writers, B-boys from all over the place. They used to come from other country already back then, while other city that had jams just with a boombox in the
I
street.
see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? We
Wow.
were more organized. While others, they were playing like Shine and Let the Music Play. We used to play already Wild Style. We used to play,
Ah, okay, okay.
so we was already into some other different sounds.
So now
With
will
the,
be radio and TV that was exposing Torino and friends that will come from different places, bringing music and art and fashion.
well, it was because in Torino there wasn't a lot of money around. There wasn't that lot of opportunity, right? Compared to a city like Milan, the fashion cities, or
Mhm.
Rome, TV spots, and all that type of situation. Torino, we were like, it was always pioneered in trends, and so they were trying things. They always incorporated things and try a lot of situations started around here. But I
Now, what were
will
you
say,
looking? Were you looking at what were you looking at the most that you were interested in? Because you said you were interested in everything, but what was the thing for you that you were like, I want to do that?
oh no, like I say, for me, before hip hop, it was mainly martial arts and comics. That was my thing. And obviously, when I was at the school, I was trying sports, different sports, because I had a lot of energy. I want to test my energy. But that's when I saw hip hop around 83, 84. Mainly, I gotta say 84. Um, that's when things start changing and
What did
my.
you see? Tell us about it. What were you saw that you were like, whoa?
Yeah, but pretty much the same thing that was slowly happening in all the cities. Uh, After Buffalo Girls, Michael McLaren, I saw Wild Star, I saw B Street, uh,
Oh man.
I saw Star Wars, I saw um Crash Groove, and then I saw
Yes.
and then I saw from the UK electro rock, uh, all this stuff, um, hip hop history, all this documentary, and, and it influenced me a lot.
And you see commercials and music videos, see a lot of things
Yeah,
showing
but
you.
a little bit here and there sporadically, not because I didn't have back then like a opportunity to get on camera, record it. I had no
Ah,
VHS stuff like that. Sometimes my friend used to go to my friend's house. He was like a more wealthy family, so he had like a possibility to record, stuff like that. So once in a while, I was going to his house watching some stuff, but most of the time I saw once and then gone, right? But it got stuck in my mind because I always had a good visual memory. So
yes.
so for me it was like, wow, that is still in my mind. Before it's gone, I gotta draw it. So I start drawing and mark everything that I couldn't remember. Obviously, when I was trying, not really wasn't that close, but what I was
Yes. Yeah.
doing. But that was the foundation for me.
So what was the first time? What's the first element that you got involved in that you realized you're pretty good at it?
Breaking, breaking.
So you were already trying it in the floor, like
Yeah,
do you have a
immediately.
buddy, friend, some like name somebody that you would practice with, like how it
Oh,
started for you, like
no, it was by myself alone. It was
oh you were alone.
I was alone. I was trying basically down in my neighborhood, in my project down the basement. That's what I was.
Oh, so you go to the lobby or the basement and you
Exactly.
practice it
But
there.
I was going to the lobby and try it outside in the street because the floor was
That's
like a marble floor, and that was smooth enough so I could have tried. So otherwise, most of the time, I was practice in my room. You know what I
nice.
mean? And because everything was small, and I didn't want to destroy things and get dirty and stuff like
Yeah.
that, I developed my body control, in order to be able not eating stuff. And at the same time, I didn't want to give um, too much work to my mother to get dirty.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was like, yo, I gotta fly like that. I don't get dirty. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes. Now, how was it that you transitioned and then because you became the next one. You became the dreamer, and I love the dreamer, man. That's a beautiful thing because you were like, you probably were thinking in your mind, I'm gonna go to New York City to the
Oh,
mecca of hip hop. I'm gonna
oh yeah.
learn everything. When was it that it clicked in your head that you said, I want to do this?
Well, put it like this. First of all, when I realized this culture was involved as embodied so many things, I felt a damn. I'm very late. I wish I could have made this culture before in the 70s, so I could be a drummer or be part of a.
Oh, I see.
So, but then I had my passion was so strong, and I was like training like every day between 8-12 hours every day. So
Wow.
drawing things, training, and study. I was trying everything I could, everything, because my dream was like one day I want to be able to share the my work, my contribution to those one that inspire me, and I was like, one day they're gonna see me, but
Ah.
in a humble way. I never, and my intention never be like, I'm gonna go there and beat that shit out of them people. No, it, but in a way, some shit happened.
Yes. Now, when was it that then you started getting closer to maybe going to New York, or maybe when was it that you, because I know you got down with Battle Squad, you probably did other you crews. When was it that then you started really being involved, that people started noticing that you were really good at this?
What? Look, put it like this: New York came out in '91, but before that, as I say, I started in my neighborhood. Then after months, like I realized, I heard from by another friend. Um, he told me, in the city, in the main city, there's a spot called Radio Theatre, Radio Theater, and that's when the spot where there are so many dancers. Okay, so that's when I realized, oh, yo, I gotta go over there and meet all other people like me that have this passion for this culture. So that's when I went there, and I met other brothers that was already dancing. And the funny thing, back then, um, the most iconic moves was the windmills, right?
Yes.
And everybody was struggling to get that windmill, right? Lot of time. And I tried, and after 1 week, and I got it immediately.
Wow, that's a,
1 week,
and will you say it's because of your martial arts, your discipline, your structure?
not, I don't know, maybe because, as I say, is my visual memory. I always pay attention on details that and flows. That's what really got me curious about it. It's the flow, is the energy, and how the body works. I'm trying to also always to figure out how the science works behind the moves, because that's the secret to me. Otherwise, everything you see, it just remain on the surface, but you don't get deeper to, to catch the secrets behind that move.
So you learned the formula to do the moves.
Yes, basically, um, after 1 week, I learned immediately windmill, and then all the others variations. The Superman, the
Yes.
all the right away, one time, one shot, boom. Because once I realized how the women works, that was all about control.
Yes.
Yeah, and put it like this: 84 started b-boying. Around 85, 86, that's when I jump into DJ. 87, I started making post tapes, and I got into beat making.
Nice.
And I
Already
started,
back then.
yeah, that's when I started to making beats, production and stuff like that. 88, I started rhyming. And after 3 years, that's what happened. New York City, that's when I met you.
That fast, boom, boom. Now, when you went to the city, who did you meet? Because when I met you, you were already out of Battle Squad. You were
Yeah,
Rocksteady crew. So you
that's
have
what.
a big history before that. Like you say, you went to the city and you wanted to meet other dancers. Who were these dancers?
Well, first of all, when I got in New York, I was going everywhere because I wanted to see as much as possible. Because for me, it was I was like, you don't have a second chance. You don't have that economic access easy in order to to return or anytime you feel. It
That's
doesn't work
correct.
like that. For me, it was like a hard to collect that money and finally, get having the chance to go there. So I was like, this is my chance to prove and learn and expand my vision and my network. So I got in New York with Battle Squad, but after a little bit, they went back home, and I was like, that wasn't the plan to me. The plan to me was like,
What year you went out there?
91.
So it was 1991 because I think I met you when you came. Wait, did you stay there or you went back and then you came back?
I stayed there at the very beginning. I stayed there. I stayed there like 6 months, something like that. And then I was going back and forth all the time because I had a chance because I start traveling very early. I start traveling 85 because
Oh, wow.
in 85 my friends from the city, they signed me without telling me anything to a competition. Basically, this competition was giving the access to join to the World Championship, just like happening today.
And
20,
you didn't even know? You
I
just.
don't e- I don't even know. Basically, I went there, I won everything, and I was like, "Yo, why you signed me? I don't even know." I was thinking then this is gonna be a problem for me telling my father that I gotta go away because before then, as I say, I wasn't going anywhere.
Wow,
My
that's
father was like
crazy.
an old school.
Yeah, so yeah, you're what? You're gonna go where?
You know what I mean? So I was like, damn, you guys put me in trouble. Now how am I gonna do this? How am I
Now,
gonna
what do you win? What do you win when you won that?
basically I won a trophy and I won the opportunity to form the the Italy team, the Italian
That's
team.
awesome. Okay,
Okay?
and who was in the Italian team? You were part of it?
Uh, it was back then was a very mixed style, many different category.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I was the one representing B-boy.
Ah, I see what you're saying.
Okay,
Okay.
the, this competitions they had like involved like 27 countries. So
Wow.
they
And you
had
were the one, the first place in the 27 countries. You were
yeah.
the one that won the whole thing.
I won the Italy World Championship. Yeah.
Wow, amazing, amazing. Now, were you your friends that were there that were pushing you, were there also B-boys or they were just different style?
Oh, they were B-boys and poppers.
And you were the best one, I'm gonna assume.
That's how.
That's why you won the whole thing. There was
Sorry,
nobody that was touching you at that time.
sorry. That's how.
Now you knew you were gonna win. You knew, like you went in there. You're like, I'm gonna win this.
Bro, nah, bro. I just went there and I did my 10. It wasn't my plan to join any competition. It wasn't in my plan. When we got to the spot, we drove for 3 hours away and say, "Where we going?" Wait. You'll see. Where we going? You'll see. We went in Tuscany, another region.
Yes.
Okay, and I did this competition, and I won it. And I was like, "What is gonna happen now? Oh, now you're gonna be part of the Italian team. They're gonna be uh join the World Championship." And I was like, "Damn, how am I gonna do this?" But anyway, when I got back home, everybody was happy, even my father, because I was like, I'm a champion now. so, so,
So he
so
was
my
happy, but sad in a way because now you already know you gotta leave.
father, he knows my father knew that from that point there was no chance to, to control me.
To stop you. You said, "I'm out of here now." Now tell me a little bit about this because I got some early footage of you. What's this about?
Oh, that's 85. That's crazy. That's 85. See, those two guys, they were involved in the first competition. See, this guy was from another. another city, and basically he lost with me.
Because, dude, you were already like, look at that. Look at you go.
I
And
was
it's
pretty.
crazy because I could see the style that you became a master at it. Like your style there, you could see the beginning of like the next
Little
one.
seeds here and there, still raw, but seeds was already there.
And this is 85, and you were already, what, like a year, 2 years into this breaking?
No, about not even about a year, about not even a full year.
God, that's amazing. So
Basically,
fast.
it basically, I think newspaper was like, live the judo Mekan world champion. That was like 6 months or something like that.
That's crazy. Now,
That's
now
crazy.
I gotta show another round because that's so official right here. When you come out, man. Look at that, and you end up doing that later on.
I look funny, B. But that's okay. You gotta
But
start
hey,
somewhere.
this everybody starts somewhere, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, and I
But
accept it.
look at that,
No.
dude. But let me tell you, you say you look funny, but I'm gonna tell you one thing. You look better than a lot of b-boys that have been breaking for 5, 10 years, man. At that time already. Dude, you were already flying, man.
I was trying
That's
to do my thing. I was rapping the little thing I knew.
so now I know that you mentioned that you had a lot of like influences, but who were your mentors and teachers at
There-
that time?
I had no man. I wish I
Mhm.
could have it. I
No
wish I could.
mentors, no teachers, just you alone. So would you say this was a
But
lonely journey for you?
there was no mentor, no teachers. I had just sometimes when I got the chance, as I say, when I went to the spot in the city, I saw some other brothers. They were doing their thing, but everybody was so concentrated doing and developing their things. So nobody
Wow.
was coming to me to tell me how to do things.
So when was it that you got down with Battle Squad? Because
Oh, that was
what year?
I think it was '89 because that's what happened. I got invited in a international competition around Paris in France, the city called Troyes. That
Trois?
was the city. Yeah, like an hour from Paris, something like that.
Okay.
And that's when I saw the first time Storm. Yeah, and other guys from Xavier from Paris City. I mean, from Actual Force, and other brothers from different places, right? And basically, I won that competition, and I won the first prize, and then I talk with some brothers, and Storm was there. We were like, yo, I think you met my friend Swift. I met Swift in around '85 because he came to see the World Championship.
Oh, wow.
After the championship, we went outside and we were rocking on
Oh
the
man, so you
spot.
guys are training immediately.
Yeah, yeah, we were like after it was incredible. So everybody was outside,
So you meet Swift Rock first.
I met Swift Rock.
Then later on you meet Storm.
Yeah, later on I met Storm '89.
And
That's
what
when
about Emilio? When did you meet Emilio?
Emilio was my friend. I put Emilio in the squad because me and Emilio once in a while we used to train together or dance together. But he was living in another city, an hour away from Torino, Genova.
Okay, okay. So
So
now yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I mean back then we used to train on different city. If you knew that there were a b-boys in another city, you going on a mission to find like martial art Oh,
Yeah.
there's another b-boy over there. I want to test that, brother. You know what I mean? Stuff
Oh man.
that was like martial arts stuff.
Yes, you go to the school, you spar to see, you fight, and you see if you're good, they're good, or you're good. And you started
Exactly.
doing that a lot. You started going different places, like,
That's why I'm saying before New York, before I became a neighborhood. You know, I got my neighborhood fame. Then I got in the city, and then my reputation got bigger and bigger while I was traveling. In 87, I went to Paris. First time I met that day, I met so many brothers. I think I probably battled 40 people.
wow. So you now you win, you meet Storm. How you guys started like vibing with each other, and then you said he asked you to be down. Like how did it happen?
It basically happened that after I won the competition in France, we start talking, right? We start talking. And we had friends in common, Swift, and there was
Yes.
another friend that was down with Better Squall back then from Switzerland, but is not anymore involved. Wasn't already involved in battles battle of the year. Back then it wasn't already. He was already out. Uh,
Oh, okay. Now what about Speedy?
all Speedy I met later on.
Later, so that's later on. So this is the
Yeah,
beginning now. When you guys all went to, because I remember I heard when I first got into breaking, I was already hearing that this Europeans that come out here and they'll dance and hit with Flow Committee, with
yeah,
the dancers downtown and
yeah,
Quick Step, Rockefeller.
yeah,
Like you guys were all involved, just
yeah. Well,
dancing in the street, going through shows, like all that. So then
yeah,
you stood there. You stood in New York. Everyone left. Battle Squad left back.
yeah. That basically, um, yeah, we met Flow Comedian through Quickstep, I think. Clown, all these
Hmm.
people, and we start dancing with them every once in a while, right? But after a little bit, Storm and the other guys went back home, and that wasn't to me. That wasn't the plan because when the plan before the New York, we won the Battle of the Year competition, right?
That's
Was like,
correct.
and I was like, yo, I think we should go to New York, stay there 6 months at least, learn as much as possible, come back to Europe, create a show, and do a world tour. That was my plan. Yeah, because for me it was like, yo, we're doing good, but I think we should dig deeper and learn more from from the Mecca. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So we got there. Everybody was, all the other guys, they were more like just training. And for me, I can't just go in a practice every day. I gotta see New York. I gotta see people. I gotta because um my ambition and passion was already all over the place. I wasn't doing
Correct.
stuff. I wasn't just a breaker. You know what I mean? I always consider myself way beyond that, just a break dancer. You know what I mean? For me, my b-boying for me was my uh, being part of this culture, my uh, weight to carry a certain, reputation of how to get down a certain way while sharing certain knowledge and representing certain things. But I was into other elements as well. And for me, I needed to get and to know with other brothers,
Yeah, you had to go to New
see,
York and see everything.
see
Everything.
I wanted to see everything. So basically, we did something together with the rest of the guys when we were dancing with Clown. Um, we used to train sometimes at West 14.
Yes, I remember that.
Remember? Yeah,
Hmm.
that's when I met. That's when I met Wiggles, and then he was like very impressed, and he was like, "Yo, you gotta meet Kenny. You gotta meet all the other." And that's when they asked me to join Rocksteady Crew, and the other guys pretty much after few more days. I can't remember exactly how many days, but the point is, they went back home. So I was like, I'm by myself now.
You're in New York alone, and now
I'm
you're
alone.
Rocksteady
I'm
crew.
in New York. That was my dream as a kid.
Hmm.
Everybody went back home. That wasn't my plan because
Nope.
I could not afford it. Dollar bills to come back in New York every time,
Yes,
every
yes.
once in a while, just doing vacation. I can't do that. You know what I mean? So to me, it's like I'm in New York. I'm by myself. This is it. Yeah.
Now, when you met Rocksteady, Mr. Wiggles, you already knew who he was when you met him?
I knew it because I'm a student of the funk, and
Yes,
I
yes.
I knew these brothers by fame. Obviously, as I say, um, I prepare myself to learn about all these brothers that put their works in order to build this culture. Whether they've been, the best one or just the ones that put they did their things to help it. For me, as I
Correct.
say, I don't discriminate. It for me, it's like
Now, you
I
got down right away in Rocksteady?
I got it right away. I didn't have to battle anyone.
I was going to ask you that. Were you supposed, did you battle anyone in Rocksteady to come in?
Nope, nope. I
Well,
didn't have
maybe
to battle.
nobody wanted to battle you at that time. They're like, mm,
This is really how that happened. Nobody really wants to battle me at that time.
wow, that's so interesting because I've always heard since a kid, in order to join the crew, and you know that, you got to battle.
Right.
But they saw your stripes. They saw your stripes as a dancer and your skills. They were like, you don't need you. You could walk right in.
There is a funny rumors behind that I left my crew to join Rocksteady. That's bullshit. I want to
And
say that.
that's good. Let's clear that
That
because that's
that's
been
it.
going on forever.
Let's make it clear. That's a bullshit. My reputation was already known all over the places before that moment. So my name was already going around everywhere through my work. My being part of Rocksteady Crew, or if I had the chance to be part of New York City Breakers, uh, um, I actually New York City Breakers after I met a little later, and they when they saw me, they're like, "Yo, Maurizo, you gotta get down with us." I was like, "Man, I'm sorry. I wish I could. I'm already part of Rocksteady. But we can dance together because I got love for you guys as well. I'm not a sucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I got
So,
love for everyone. But the fact that I got joined to Rocksteady is because that was my dream as a kid. But it wasn't only my dream; it was so many kids' dream. You know
everyone,
what I mean?
because they see the
Every
movies, they see everything. I want to be part of that, and that's
everyone wants
okay.
to be, and I didn't go to anyone to ask to be down with Rocksteady Crew.
They asked
Matter of
you.
fact, when they put together, when Mr. Wiggles put together my first VHS video, right? Incredible B-Boy
That,
Volume 1, he
that's
got
right.
he got it. He got Film Kenny and Wiggs himself to tell the story how it happened. How
Yep,
that
yep.
and they told when we saw Maurizio, we asked him to join and dance with us. That's what happened. I didn't go to anyone to say, "Yo, fuck my whole crew. I want to get down with y'all." It never
So you
happened.
hear it, guys, from the
You
man
hear it?
himself. He's saying it right now.
I'm
He
saying,
got
and
down with Rocksteady Crew because they asked him to get down, and that was his dream. And hey, nobody could get in nobody's dream, in the way in nobody's dream. If I have a dream to be part of the most amazing thing, hey, if that's my dream,
it's
and honestly, I congratulate you that you followed your dream because Who in Torino, from your neighborhood, from your block, was dreaming like you were dreaming?
I was by myself.
You
So
see?
if
So you
if it
did it.
wasn't,
It's an accomplishment that people, instead of dissing you or saying this and that about you, they should congratulate you because you accomplished one of your dreams and that was it. You did it. So
bro,
now, how long were you there for? Like, how long were, once you got down Rocksteady? Because I have some footage of you here performing, and I want you to tell me if it's around the same time.
okay. Oh, wetlands.
You're gonna come out right after him. Boom.
Yeah, that's the wetlands, Wildstar reunion, the
This is
Rocksteady
what
reunion.
year, if you could remember?
I think it's 91.
So it's the same year you got down?
Yeah, I think it's
Look at you,
91.
look at you.
You know what is funny? I had to dislocate my shoulder while I'm
Oh,
dancing.
you got a dislocated shoulder?
Yeah, because 2 days before in the BX, I was training with them on the tatami floor.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my shoulder got popped for some reason. Probably got
Oh,
stuck in the
yeah.
tatami floor. And I was like, damn. I
Did you
had
put
a
it back?
I had a yeah, I put it back. I put it back somehow. And I was like, no, I can't lose. I can't lose this opportunity. This is my official introduction to the New York scene. You know what I mean?
Yes, you need to show everything you got.
And because I would actually, and personally, because we went everywhere together, so many
Yes.
spots.
Oh
Red
man, that
Zone,
was crazy.
Red Zone,
Oh
SOBs, Big
man.
Meaty Diner. I went everywhere. Palladium, yo, obviously the wetlands, that spot. And every time I was doing my thing, everybody was going crazy.
Of course. I
But
remember at Crazy Legs birthday party, and you were throwing down,
was
and
it the
Pete,
borough? Was it the
yeah,
borough?
yes, yes. And I remember we went together because who were the Italian brothers that you were hanging with? Because I remember that same year, early 90s, maybe
Mhm.
92, 93. I remember you and I, we were all together and you had a short Italian friend, and then it had bunk beds in the hotel. And then I met Phil, Zulu Phil.
Oh yeah, that was a after that every year for the Zulu anniversary, you
Yeah,
know.
so I remember that time too
Yeah,
that we like
exactly.
and this is one thing that I want you to do. I want you to tell the story because so many people would love to hear that story of, because I was with you and I remember we were going to Far Rockaway, no, to Coney Island. We were
Coney
going to
Island.
Coney
Yeah.
Island.
Oh, the one with the record, right?
Yes, please
Oh,
tell the story. That was
oh
amazing.
man. Oh man, that's incredible. That's really some superhero shit. You
Yes, that was,
you
and I saw it with my eyes, and to
exact.
this day, people don't believe it. And I'm like, listen to me. One
Yo,
day, I'm gonna have Maurizo say the story.
yo,
Please
we
say it.
basically I had a lot of crates with me, record bags, right? And one of these bags is supposed to taking care this little guy that I brought with me from Italy, right?
That's the one that I was telling you about, the little
Yes.
guy.
So basically, we get off the station right before Coney Island. What was it? Uh, do you remember the
I
station?
can't remember. It's
It's the
so
one
long.
before. It's the one before Coney Island.
Shit, I can't
Basic,
remember. It's so
basic,
long ago.
yeah. Basically, we get off the station and say everybody got the bags. Yeah, yeah. And this guy forgot his bag, my bag,
The
in
big black bag. It was
the
big
big
black bag.
black bag with a lot of funk and jazz and stuff that I was digging from you know from the whole
Everywhere.
day. And that was like, no, I can't believe it. You left my bag in the train. I wasn't even thinking.
And I
I
remember the train went boom, boom, and it closed, and you see the train
the
leave, and
train,
you're back.
the
And I
train,
remember your face because you looked at me and you looked at everyone and you said, "Where's my bag?" And then
exact,
everyone looked at the train and the train was leaving.
and the
So carry
train
on,
was
carry on.
and the train was leaving. And I was like, no, I can't believe it. You forgot my bag in the train. I was so mad and pissed off about it. I wasn't even thinking. I was like, I start running behind the train,
You
jumping.
jumped down. You
I
jumped
jumped
down.
down. I jumped down. I was running. I had tears on my eyes. I couldn't see shit, but I was like skipping like a fucking
Yeah,
like a
because you got to
fucking
jump over the tracks, jumping over the
yeah, all
tracks.
over the tracks. And by the third, I was trying to not hitting the third rail. So I was like, and there was a moment, the
That
basically
split.
there was the splits of the race because this is the train before the last stop,
Yes,
right?
and you were, and it's dark, so you
And
don't see
it was
nothing.
dark, and there was this tunnel that was like this. But all I knew, I was chasing the lights,
Yeah, the light of the
the
train.
light, the lights of the train, and I running so fast that I caught him on the last
I
stop.
couldn't believe it because I was talking to everyone that we stood behind, and I literally, and just to give you the perspective of what I'm watching, because we never spoke about this. So when I when you looked, you went whoo, and you threw down, and you didn't even look behind to see if there's another train coming. You just took off. And I've been through the trains before. I have friends that write graffiti. I'll jump in, but then I'm like, does Mauricio know the train system here? So I look, I go like this, and I see you running, and you disappear because you ran so fast, and I see your legs. Like that's the thing that I remember. That you jump, your legs are high knees, like but so fast. And you were screaming. You were like, ah, I don't know what you were saying, but you I was like, I couldn't believe it. And then I go to the
Yo,
guys. Don't worry, guys. I know where he went. Let's wait for the other train. It's gonna get here. And I believe Mauricio found his bag. And then we get off the train, and I see you sitting down on the bench. And you're
yeah,
black.
yo,
That's
that,
the thing that I never forget. You were so
yo,
dirty because of all the black stuff in the train.
oh yeah,
And yeah, and I think were you crying? Because I
oh
remember,
yeah, of course, I was crying because while I
oh
was
man, I'm crying now
running,
laughing.
you know, it was windy at the same time over there.
That was so
The
funny.
tunnel was dark, rays all over the place. I was running fast. My eyes was like tears all over, and so my vision was blurry, right? So,
Yes.
but I knew that I had to chase
So
that
you
light.
got on the top. Like, tell me what happened. You got on the top fast and ran to the
When
cart.
when the train finally stops to Coney Island, I jump up the platform and jump in the car and grabbing my back, and I was like, "Damn,
Wow,
got
man.
it! Finally!" I couldn't believe it. I couldn't. I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe it when I got off that train and I saw you. You had
I
your
mean,
bag.
I was so happy. I was so, yo. This is love for music, yeah,
Yes, yes, man. Not
bro.
only love, man,
You know,
because and you know what's the funny thing? I don't know if you remember when we got off the train and I look at the bed. You were hugging that black bag like this.
that was my
You were
baby.
hugging it like because it was a big duffel bag, black, like the people from the army. They have the big black bags, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh man, my man is getting inspired to make a beat right now. That's the love for the music for you, right?
Oh man.
But it was amazing, amazing, amazing. Oh man, you could do this. Oh, let's go. Let's go now. Now I have a question now. There were so many stories and so many amazing things we did in New York. So many clubs. Oh, the crazy things that we did that we
Oh,
might not even talk about it. But so many crazy things.
so
And
many.
if you could go back to
Mm,
being like a beginner, what would you tell yourself? Like if you go back, if you could go as far as let's say Mauricio in Torino, 12 years old. If you could go back to talk to that kid, what would
yeah.
you tell him?
Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, because nobody can will for you. And will is power. And all I know, bro, is you need to figure out what's your talent, what's your skills, and dive deep into it 100% fully with yourself, and try to, get the best out of it. That's all I can say,
That's
because,
beautiful.
I'm coming from my family wasn't a wealthy family. It was a I didn't have that opportunity to get that everything I want, everything I desire. So for me, it was like when I realized about the sculpture I was 14, 15, something like that, because before there wasn't hip hop in Italy back
Mm-hmm.
then. And I realized this is what I want to do. And that back then there was no opportunity, to get jobs, fame, or anything like
Mm-hmm.
that. I saw this guys on TV, and I was like, one day this guys they're gonna be my partners.
Wow. And look at that. You did that and even more.
And I'm, you know, that's I think that's my power, because I truly believe in what I do. And otherwise, things would be different if all my uh, work and experience I have put in this culture, if I would share it in New York City, and I would have all this in New York,
Oh,
that would be way different my life.
yes, definitely. Now, would you say the belief in yourself is, and I don't want to bring it back to you running after your bag, do you say it's the same belief you had when you running down that tunnel? You believe you were gonna get your bag.
Oh yeah, yes.
That's the same belief.
I did it, bro. Because why I jumping? Because I believe it. I want to get that bag back to me. It's mine. I was struggling for those records. There was no who sample stuff like
No,
that.
and this and the hours we spent in
There was the
stores,
how
hours
much time I was.
like this,
Exactly.
hours.
I was hours and hours researching, study, reading, getting in all the information. And because for me, I was like, no excuses. I want to be updated. I want to be on the same level that this guy is doing it. And my the battle with myself is to be able to rapping on the same level that the other guys they were doing it around the same time. I didn't want to, find excuses to tell her, yo, I'm from another country, this and that, blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
you
As
just
matter,
said I've been.
as matter of fact, everybody thought that I was from New York.
Yeah, everybody thought I was from New York. Everyone, everywhere where we go, they until you started talking and they said, "Hey, where you from?" Hey,
Exactly.
I'm from Italy, and they're like, "What?"
Yeah, exactly. When I say I'm from Italy, they thought that I was from Little Italy.
Yes, that's right. I
You know,
remember that. I remember that.
they thought I was Italian.
Yeah,
But
like in Little Italy downtown by the village, and not only that, you were everywhere. You were b-boying. You were dressing fresh. You were, look at that. You got the Yankee hat on. Like everyone thought you were a New Yorker, and everyone you could say gave you the love and received you.
oh yeah, that's another thing that is very important. When I got in New York, which New York that time wasn't the New York of vacation that
No, not at all.
is
Not at
going
all.
today. Everybody telling, yo, I'm going to New York, but that's a vacation time. You don't
Yeah.
understand back then how
Yeah.
New York was it. And I couldn't even imagine how New York would be in the 80s or even the 70s.
Oh
You know
man.
what I mean? So, but still, e- especially if I remember that not even people from the West Coast could have got that love.
Yeah,
Be-
because it was
because
West versus East.
because it was hard. It was
Hmm.
hard
Yeah, super
conquering,
hard.
you know, conquering New York in order to get that love back.
And you did it well because you never really ran into trouble like that. Like
I never
stuff
had I never
because
had trouble. I had people that approach me, tell me, yo, give me love, and but tough people. Because I remember my first night, I went to the Malcolm X anniversary. I was like, I was, I told it, damn, if I were, if I might gonna have a get trouble, this is gonna be the right place. I thought,
yeah.
no, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
never been before, so I was like, but that was like a scratch off because
Complete love, right?
completely because I got love immediately, and everybody was so cool and humble at the same time. Because I think the key of access was what you really do and
Hmm.
the way you share it. That being real. And
Absolutely.
I guess that at least that was a part of my ambition. I want to be able at least to present my formula and make sure that this guy's not gonna throw out after seeing it. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes, yes. And you did. You performed, you were all over the place. Then I remember you left to Brazil with
Oh
Jam on
yeah,
the Groove.
yeah.
You went out there and but I want to share when I remember when we went to the Zulu Nation anniversary 1994
Okay.
and the Puck building, and
Oh,
that's
the pop
when
build in New York with Rakim and all the other guys.
Rakim, Tribe Called Quest.
Oh yeah.
What was your mind like? Because I'm a young kid and I saw all these people I didn't understand. I knew that it was amazing music, but I didn't know who they were really, like if they're like Rakim, like
I knew
rock,
everyone in there. I knew I
and
was
everyone, yeah, and everyone knew who you were too. Because I remember on the mic, I don't know if it was Rakim or something, but they'll be like, Mauricio, the next one, and they'll say your name. And I was like, holy shit.
yep.
And I'm hanging out with you all the time. So I'm like, they know him by his name? Wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah. I remember back then, as a matter of fact, back then, my album was already out and I had people like Buster, Jazzy J, Diamond
yep,
D. They had my album showing up my album, and it was crazy for me. It was like a crazy experience because um I was living the dream, B. I was living the dream. That dream that I saw in my mind so many times, and I was trained hard to get for that moment. I was seeing that moment,
absolutely.
and at the same time, I was like calm, like Rakim, remain calm. You know what I mean?
Yep, yep. And
Because
you did.
because I was like, I saw this so many times in my mind that. this is actually that moment.
And
And
you said, I'm
and
gonna
the funny
take it.
thing, I had two people. One was surprised, like a big, big fan. That be like, do you understand? You are at the spot that you will dream about it. And the
So what
other
was your
like,
mind like? What were you thinking when you're in the middle of, was there a moment in New York? Like I remember Busta Rhyme, I remember Rakim, and all of them will talk to you and you're in the side with them. And how was your feeling in your body? Like tell us about like what was going through your mind.
but as I say, it was split into. It's like the devil and the angel, but I would say both are angels anyway, because one would say, "Can you believe it? This is what is going on right now," and the other one say, "Cool, I am in the right place where I supposed to be. I'm in the place to be right now." You
And
know,
you went
I
for it and
for this, so I was like, I was handling the situation, and but it was amazing. It was amazing, and it still is. Think about it when I met yo the very when I think around that time at the wetlands I met most Def,
yeah,
and
most Def was there with Q-Tip and all of them.
and most Def. You know what he told me? He told me, yo, I was like, yo, most. He was like, wait a minute, and he told me, you don't know, I'm a big fan of you. I was like, what? Like big fan of me? Yeah, he was like, you don't know. I went to a store to buy a VHS for my son, and I bought your tape.
Oh my
Next thing I
God.
know, I got a big shout out on the Black Star album
Yes.
on
And a
BBHS.
lot of people don't know about that.
You
People
know what I
think
mean?
it's just people think it's just like when they mention you, people don't even know that
I
they were talking
had
about
people,
you.
I had people on Sway and Tech show on the other side that were supernatural freestyling and using mention my name on the breaking along with Kenny and Wiggles and all those people. And I was like, damn, I'm part of that. I was
Yes.
super happy to be part of that in a way, that I got, I gave my contribution to inspire others.
Absolutely.
And
Now another thing too, not only that, you're there amongst the greatest and you're feeling, and the most beautiful thing is remain humble. That's the thing that I found so amazing. You remain humble. It wasn't that you were like, this, I'm this. You remain humble.
humble is the number one rule, B. If you don't remain humble, you never get to the second step, which is acceptation. And in order to keep going forward, remain humble, accept who you are and what you have to work to still, and then start working on it. Start working,
Absolutely.
put yourself into it until you conquer what you're looking for, your ambition. But then it's not over yet because you gotta make look naturally, like real life. It's gotta
Hmm.
come naturally, spontaneously, like real life. You don't
Now,
have to look like a robot. You know what I
yep,
mean?
yep.
So,
Yeah,
so
and it's all the belief in yourself that you have too.
yeah, yes, and the only we all have the same opportunity in order of how to use that 24 hours every day. If you understand that you have something to work it on and use your time in a better way, because every every ideology that you chasing, if they're wrong or negative, is gonna wasting your time.
Yep.
And and if you inspire others, you might gonna waste other people life as well.
That's
'Cause
so
also,
beautiful and well said. Well said. Now, another question is in the current state of hip hop, like the way the culture is, what
mm,
is something you would like to change?
well, I just like to say, the culture of today, don't forget about those people that make this happen. Because we talk about evolution, right? But there is no evolution if you forget about the people. Take care of your people. Take care of those one that put in work in order to build this culture, because their life are precious. And we don't live 250 years in order, you know, to one day realize that maybe we're supposed to give back when it was the right time. You gotta do, if you do what you feel, but be true to yourself and be real. Don't say things that you don't believe it. Just do what
Ah,
you believe it, and put in work. Put your money where your mouth is. That's what I like to say, because you know, everything must change it, and that's real. That's life.
mm-hmm.
But in the process of changing and transformation, they don't mean you are, that what people have done, no matter it's short or longer, it doesn't count. Everybody got the right to feel part of something that was making happy. And you can be part of this culture for 2 seconds, but if that 2 seconds was real and was you were able to express it while you expressing yourself, make you feel good and lovely, other people's lives, that's important, as well as someone that kept on doing it and doing it. Then what is changing is ambitions. If you have a big dreams, big ambitions, well, you don't have to waving the flag of the past. You gotta keep on working and keep doing what you gotta do. That's all I can say.
I love that. I love that. Now, what is something I know you've contributed things in the hip hop scene? What is something you can contribute now to make the culture better? Something
Oh,
you can contribute now.
look, I'm 40 years involved in this culture now, and I have a pretty good experience on different levels. And I think, as I say, experience means the time of someone, time, that life of that individual. So use that life in order to get a chance and share with others, and use what he did good for others, for himself, for others. You can apply everything that can support to develop, to transform other things, to bring it to another level, to share experience, to share that science, to share that knowledge. It's everything. We all did it together. It's important to me.
So you will contribute basically saying teaching workshop, teaching how to DJ, your history,
It's not only
everything.
that. It's not
What
only,
else?
well, as I say, I consider myself an artist. I'm an artist. I'm still doing it. I make my music. While I make my music, music, dance come from music. When I play my music, obviously, makes me feel I want to dance too. In order to dance too, I need to be around b-boys. I need to be around my people. I need to be around those people that can understand my struggle, because I understand their struggle. Because
Ah, I see.
when they see me, it's like I see them. You know what I mean?
Yes,
It's just
definitely.
it's just different timeline. But you know, when I see them, I see myself when I was that kid. But when they see me, they can see themselves when they can get older. You know.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful.
So
So it's like you in Torino and you looking at where you want to be, and you say, I want to be and I want to get to that level. And they see you one day, they could be like me. So
exactly. And
that's beautiful.
for me, when you say you in Torino, right? Torino is my headquarter right now. But myself, I always consider a planetary citizen, like that breakbeat. I'm a
Oh, yes.
I'm a planetary citizen
Yep.
because I've been in maybe 100 countries,
Mm-hmm.
many places, and I never felt homesick. Why? Because I always find good vibe to feel home everywhere I've been. So I always welcome everyone in order to learn their culture, appreciate their everyday life, try to learn their language, try to communicate and share with them. I don't care where they come from. We all human beings. And that's
So
what I
the
like.
fact that you travel, you're saying home is where your heart is at. So
Yes. Oh, oh,
you could be in China and you still have the home because you take it with you. It,
home is with me. It's not this. It's not this. This is not home. This is the reflection of my home. But my home is with me. So when I was living in New York, I was at home. I
so
remember.
nobody can say you're not from here because you are from there, because you are from Torino, you are from Germany, you are from Japan, because wherever you go, your heart goes with you, and that's your home.
Yes, because my home is my education, my integrity, my beliefs in what I appreciate by other people, by other culture, uh, the way I like to treat people, the way I like to uh, people treat me. You know, is this exchanges is energy, is vibe, is that balance that you built and created when you travel. You bring it to other people. You know, we say in hip hop we say real recognize real, right?
Correct.
But in the same time, it's like we also recognize that on the other side there is your brother.
Yes.
Why is your brother? Because it's you on the other side. And if your first uh, if what you see on the first impact is not negativity, you're gonna be able to see that positive that you can able to recognize in you. You know what I mean?
Yes,
So
man.
and for me it's the same thing when I apply my inspiration that comes from everything. See, I got always inspired by so many different things, not necessarily. Usually people say, yo, oh, he's the best or whatever, whatever, whatever. But that don't mean that everything gotta come from that source necessarily. No,
And I
everyone.
completely understand what you're saying because everyone in the world that knows you in the b-boy world, if they really unpack who you really are, a lot of people don't know this, and it's beautiful that you hear sharing this on the show because you know that people assume and see you as b-boy, the next one, until they really know. Oh, what he does that? Look how much philosophy and knowledge you're dropping. So many people around the world that are watching this show or listening to this show, they don't even know that you're not just a b-boy. You didn't only get inspired by just breaking. Everything is inspiration to you, and you're like a full package of your hip-hop. You're full hip-hop, you're full, and you're actually even more than hip-hop because you have a story before hip-hop. So you bring all this to the table.
Yes, and that's why when I discovered hip hop, that was a good place to be for me in order to bring my home into it.
Yes, yes, I
Okay?
love that. I love that.
And in this, we are in a big extended family. We just recognize each other through these codes of the
Hmm.
streets of this culture. But these codes are the language that we speak in order to recognize each other. That's the key of to access to other dimensions.
Absolutely.
Now, that's why, as I say, I use my time to expand my my knowledge and my understanding, and I like to say is more the things I don't know than the things I know. That's the bottom line. Okay, I'm a I'm a student forever, but you know that don't mean you're not able to share with others and be maybe a role model for others. Okay, because everything inspires, whether you do good or bad. But if you consciousness about it, if you're aware about it, you decide what you want to share with others. So
Mm.
I prefer let my uh, passion speaks for me instead that speaks with my mind, which will turn maybe into a poison if I'm not able to to you know to have that skills languages to
Absolutely.
communicate it. So some people like to communicate it through dance. MCs maybe like to communicate it with words. But can you say that every everyone is able to communicate it on the same way? Nah, because everyone has a different skills. Some listening is a skill.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to talk all the time. Okay, right now, of course, we have to. But listening is a skill. Just like in music, silence is very important, just like sounds.
Wow.
It's just like in dance, space is very important, just like steps and moves. So it's about that um sensitize. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's your the way you feel things that will make the difference while you expressing those things that you decide to express in a certain moment, a certain time, with certain people, and that's what will reveal. It reveal also the um, oh, I'm looking for the words. Sorry for my
It's
English.
okay. Remember, we can
Uh,
edit this in.
yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Uh,
Now,
uh,
will you say it's like, because earlier you mentioned you mirror people. We're mirrors of each other.
exactly.
So my struggle that I come from the past of my childhood all the way till now, you have the same thing. We have a conversation or we're in front of each other and we don't have to even speak. Either we could speak through dancing or you play music, I play music, you're writing and we're quiet. We're not saying anything. You're doing graffiti, you're writing your lyrics, you're writing your ideas, your imagination, like all these things that you're learning. And you said something beautiful that stuck out to me. You said silence is also important when there's no music. And the same way where there's some music playing, it's very important for you too. Now, will you do you meditate? Do you spend time in silence? What is your spirituality in the sense of like finding the peace of mind of when things are crazy everywhere and you want to like center yourself as a martial artist, as someone that practiced martial arts back then, and just your discipline, where do you find that peace? Because I find sometimes peace, sometimes silence for me could drive me a little crazy. But sometimes if I play, let's say,
Mm,
some real classical music, I love jazz. So
okay.
sometimes I sit down and I'll listen to a jazz and I close my eyes. Sometimes my tears come out and I don't know why. And I go, wow. And I feel better.
Yeah.
So
It's
what
like,
would be what's yours? Where's your outlet that you find that center, that peace, that balance?
look, first of all, I like to get inspired by everything. So I don't let, I don't put in a cage my emotions, because otherwise that cage that I built for my emotion is gonna turn against me. When you express yourself, when you DJ, so you decide to play this instead of that, or you create a journey, and that journey comes from feelings. It's the way you feel things. So it's the same thing. I think it will happen with so many different perspective. Okay. um uh then I lost it.
Because I wanted to know if when is it that you find your peace? Like in meditation, in silence, in prayer? Is it listening to your favorite record? Is it going for a jog? Or like where is your peace of mind?
Look, my peace of mind, first of all, I like to um pay attention to details, to things that happen in life. If that moment happening silence, I pay attention to silence. So I'm curious about the silence. So I dig deeper in the silence. So I'm not fearing the silence, because that silence, just like that loudness, that shout that is in me anyway, both living together.
Mm-hmm.
I found silence in music, even if it's loud. I find that silence,
Wow.
because that
We gotta
silence.
write that one down right there. You find silence even if the music is loud. That's amazing.
Because that silence can be in one note,
Correct.
just like that silence can be in one line. It's the deepness inside the things that give you that moment of silence to enjoy or relax and just think about it, or maybe just relax yourself. So, as I say, it's not a demonstration. When you're looking for that silence, it's not a demonstration. You gotta be able to accept that silence. If you're fearing that silence, you're running away from that silence. Okay? But silence, it's part of the game. Okay? So what I'm saying, I can watch a movie, and maybe if emotionally talk to me in a certain way, it might come tears from my eyes. Should I be, should I be uh, afraid, or should I be fearing that someone can take advantage of me? No, you can't take advantage of me anyway, because I'm aware about what's going on. So
Mm,
they don't mean, if me and you we a friend, they don't mean you can talk shit about me, because I never let you feel that you can do something like that.
that's correct.
You know what I mean? So I'm not constantly on defending myself, because I'm fearing that someone can mind, taking
Because you're
advantage of
very
me.
aware. You're very
I'm
aware of
aware.
everything.
So I'm living. I'm just living the life moment by moment. If this moment I'm silent, I accept the silence. That's the point. But as I say, oh, um, I build my temple. We all differences, variation of silence, or loudness, or
Wow.
colors, or multiverse. Or I can say, oh, friends. This can be my friends as well.
Yep.
Okay? And why I listen something, it might can connect me to my friends on the other side, on the physical aspect of
Yep.
friends.
Mm-hmm.
But my when I used to drive, my friends was the paper and the pencil. That was my friend.
And it will bring you peace. It will bring you
Yeah,
tranquility.
when I was training hard, that floor and that music was my friend. Even was alone because my other friend was here to tell
Yeah.
me, yo, you should do something like this. Why don't you try something like that? Yeah,
So you could be your worst enemy or your best friend.
it's happening to all of us. I'm not better than anyone. I'm just being me. Then it's the result of your effort. It's the results of your work that you live in this life that will say how much passion you had and you had.
Absolutely.
But for example, some people can say, yo, how come you didn't put it out so many records? Because not necessarily I have to put it out records. I make music every day just to express my emotions. Yeah, it's my therapy.
Yep.
But all this music that I make every day, if I want to do an album or a documentary or whatever, I can do it because I have that document, because I produce something. If you produce shit every day by talking shit every day, that's your amount of values that you share into the world. Talking shit. And
Yes.
that's what the people will remind about you. Oh yeah, you were talking shit 80s and you were pro because you were doing that on a high level. Yeah. So for me, I was like, I like better when I express myself on a different level. Feel
Beautifully,
free.
beautifully, beautifully said. Now, I want to go back because that's so much to take in and it's so amazing that you're saying that. But I want to go back to you in New York City, 1994, Zulu Nation anniversary. I have a little clip of you right here throwing down with your sweater. Talk to me about that day right there.
Wow.
Have you seen that footage?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember
Look
that.
at that, brother.
That's
You're like,
crazy. See, for example, look at the way I'm dressing, right? You can't really say I came there for breakdancing. I came there because I want to be part of that. But my dance can come from wherever I am in that day, in that particular moment. That's what it means. It means that sometimes you'll be like, yo, I gotta put it on my fresh gears or my sneakers or that suit that maybe
mm-hmm.
once you finally put on that stuff, you're not able to do anything, right?
Yes.
But many times I was like just regular. I had my Timberland boots or whatever, and I was rocking on the same way, on a different way, but on the same way. You just adapt yourself, and that's how life works. Every day is not a sunny day.
There you go.
So, so you got accepted that weather is different. So you accept that the weather is different,
And you go
and
with the weather, right? You go with the
you
weather.
go with the flow. You adapt yourself in order to accept that this is what is going on today, and this is if I feel it, I might can express myself with different shades of color instead of what was happening the other day or tomorrow.
Wow.
You know what I
Amazing.
mean?
Man, you dropping some amazing gems tonight, man. Like people around the world are gonna be like, I
But
didn't even know
I'm just
Mauricio was
freestyling.
also a philosopher too.
Well, philosophy, being a philosopher, I love it because In a way, poetry, I love it in order to express poetry, because poetry is the way you conduct your life. As and also in a, when you express in your dance, if you're aware about your dance, if you pay attention to details, if you stand for something, and, and you present your work in forms of passion, it is also you communicate it through poetry. Your poetry, your poetry can be deep, or maybe stay on the surface, or maybe you just miming and doing some theatrical performance to demo something, and
Yep, yep.
that will reveals before you strike your best moves,
Wow.
because your aura surround you, and people feel your aura before you strike. You know what I mean?
And you've always done that because it's funny that the fact that when we hang out early 90s, one of the reasons why I was around you, because I know you were dope. I didn't know who was, I already, your name was everywhere, but at the same time, the Zulu Nation, Rocksteady, all that. And I'm there and I'm trying to soak in everything. And you were speaking the same way back then. When was it that you found yourself? When was it that you said, at what age? Because some people have trouble that they could be 40, 50 years old and they still don't know what they want and they still confused. That's why they do so many crazy things. And you're like, wow, like, I can't believe that person just did that. Or when was the day or the year that you could remember that you already knew who you were?
Bro, I think I gotta thank those uh inspiration I got it in the early days while I was watching those martial arts movies. Especially my master, my mentor. When you ask about my mentor, right?
Yes, yes.
My mentor, I should say my indirectly mentor was Bruce Lee.
Ooh,
Yeah, I always, I always pay attention to Bruce Lee, and from Bruce Lee, when I got the chance to discover other things, I pay attention as well to the other things. Just like I was paying attention deeply while I was reading my comics. Why
yeah. You paying attention to every little detail, right?
I paying attention, and for me was that serious, because what I even I know that I don't exist. It's just a manifestation of society, and the idea where, you know of
Mm-hmm.
living together, in this life, right, with people.
Yes.
But it's just an idea. But again, I felt pretty soon that trust what you feel. Trust what you feel. And everything that, in a way, was kind of get me into it, caught me in involved, trust it. So when I see something that I like it, I'm 100% into it. I'm 100% into it.
So how will you deal with the haters and the naysayers and the negative, toxic people
Tell
that I don't think Mauricio you're gonna do that. I don't think, or they never believe in you, and I'm gonna prove you wrong, or like
it's
you see Mauricio it's not gonna work out. How you deal with that?
Well, as a being a human being is painful, okay? But that pain, it changes through times, because life is a test, okay? So that pain change through time the more you become aware about life. So if you thought that winning a competition means your life is going to be more simple, no. Every time you succeed in something, on the other side, you attract all the negativity that don't appreciate that you succeed in something. So I realized pretty soon that you carry on both, but you concentrated in what you feel is better for you.
Mm.
Because if you ask me, did you be stuck in something that wasn't what you want, like a negative stuff? Yeah, I got stuck. I'm a human being. I've been experienced there. I've been there, and I know what I felt it. And complain is not gonna resolve any problem anyway.
Nope.
So, so you know what? It's hard to accept it, but swallow it and move forward
Absolutely.
because chase the things that makes you feel in peace with yourself. So as soon as you realize I'm here, I'm point A, what I'm going is over there, is point B, C, D, E, blah 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 blah, move forward toward that direction. And the work they require is from point A to point B, from point B to point C until the end of time. Okay? Why? Otherwise, you can be stuck in a room. The door is over there, but you walk around the room, you wasting energy. You think you've been worked out, but you don't get any result. You get frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But you have to realize what you want for yourself. Do you want to be involved in drama every day? Because that dude say shit about you or whatever, 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 and you be like, you reply or whatever, whatever, whatever. Maybe in a certain moment of time you feel like I gotta do that. In another moment of time, you might gonna feel you're gonna smack that dude or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can do it because there is no right or wrong. There is only what you feel, and there and what you gotta expect after that, right?
Absolutely.
But if you want to make beats, if you don't sit down and make those beats doesn't come all along.
Yep. You got to put
You
in the work.
put that work into it behind that those things. You'd be like, yo, I bought this machine, I bought that sampler, I bought, yeah. You might can sell machines and samplers, but you don't sell beats because you didn't have time to making it those beats.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? You representing this big machine. I got one machine, but I know the machine I make those beats every day. You know what I mean? And that's how it works. Go make it simple and go directly to
I
toward
love it.
what
I
you
love
want.
it. Love it. Now I want to go back to 94 again, around that same time of that footage. Do you remember this right here?
Oh, that was the same night I got to New York right after the airport.
That was Dick Shays,
Yes.
the practices.
Yeah, I think I got it from Italy an hour before that moment.
Oh, you just got back from Italy.
Yeah, I just got in New York like an
Because I know
hour
you throw
before,
down again. Look at
and I
burn
went
one.
straight to the spot.
I think you show up over here somewhere. Oh, yeah. And then you show up again because this is where we went to. Remember, at that time, it used to be called Legs Almighty. Remember?
Yeah,
Um, he used to go by Legs Almighty. But you come out here again. I remember it. Easy
yeah,
Rock comes out.
that's still the Zulu University.
Yeah, the Zulu anniversary. And You remember? Do you go to the first day or you went to both days? Or you went to this day only?
Um,
Because I remember there was like 2 days. There you go.
I think I went both days.
Yeah, it should have been because one, the people were performing, and the other one, remember there was a lot of performers, and which I wanted to show you some of the footage
Mm.
that you probably gonna be like, oh shit, I remember
You know what
all of
is
those.
funny? It's
Go ahead, go
funny.
ahead, go ahead.
It's funny because my Levi's was longer,
Yeah,
so
they went under your they went under
under
your
my
sneakers.
my sneakers.
Yeah,
But I
that's
love it
happened.
so. But I love it so much because before Levi's, I used to wear Lee jeans. So I was like, damn, no, I want to rock that. No matter hey, he feels
If
doesn't feel that comfortable.
Yeah,
I
even if
want
you
to.
step on your it's even if you step on your jeans, you don't care. But yeah, look, remember this right here. If you could remember some things,
Ah man, rock, rock. Oh yeah,
that's the same year we were all there together.
bro. I got a mad pictures on my wall and get on my wall in the main entrance on my house.
You see that?
From
You remember that?
from from that moment.
And I know. Look, remember that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Check it. Hey yo, quiet noise. We bring the riot, boy. Believe in me. A bunch of niggas up to
That's
nothing but
crazy,
fucking
right?
thievery. We house
Oh
the set.
man,
The first mouth, the threat.
we
My
were
alphabet is
there.
like the slouch
We
next.
were
Yes, we were
Higher
there.
than
hanging
no
with them. We were part of them.
Right next.
Hold it down. Quiet noise.
And I remember that walking around.
Um,
And I didn't know who. I knew there were amazing people, but I didn't know.
They be
Look
frontin'
at that.
like they so real. Kick a verse or two, but they ain't telling me the whole deal. They always screaming how they smoke ya. The game got more jokers than poker, and they raps, they be mediocre. But my rhymes, yo, they be freaking you like Jodeci. I kill with.
Crazy, right?
I go by the name of
wow.
Blackness, representing Loud
Look at
Two,
that.
you know.
All the dudes from
Oh
back
yeah.
then. But man, it's
Wow.
crazy how so many years, man. It's like
Yeah, we
30,
will witness
about to be
history.
30 years, right?
Oh yeah, we will witness history, B.
Now you never believed you were gonna be hanging, talking, Buster Rhymes, Rakim. You never believed that in your life that was gonna happen like that?
Bro, I can only say I dreamed that type of situation so many times that was already real inside. I didn't know
Oh.
if you ask me when, I didn't know when,
But
but
you know it was gonna happen.
I knew it would happen because that's what once again accept what's happening. Are you crying? Accept it. You are crying right now. Accept it. You dreaming that situation. And that situation was my daily dream. Be around those epic moments. Be around those legendary people. That
And you're
was my
feeling
dream.
in your heart, and you're feeling in your heart when who was the MC that said, "Hey man, I look up to you. I like your stuff." Who was the MC?
Most.
Was it Rock Most? When Most said, "Hey man, I'm a fan of your work."
And I
Hey,
was like, I'm a fan of you. I was like, I'm a fan of you.
it's crazy. Now it's a different time now with the generation that we're living on now than the generation that we're living before. Do you feel there's a lack of respect for the elders in the hip hop culture?
Well, I think this is a it's happening. Yes, it's happening. I can't say intentionally happening by the majority. I think very few people intentionally don't respect some people in general. I think the majority they just and some don't even have idea of what's going on because you don't have the chance to connect them, and the structure of the culture is not really well organized in order to make sure that all the puzzle is on the right spot in order to create the piece.
So it's
So,
not the same as before when you were here, when we were part of. Do you feel that this because now you don't see parties like before? How many parties we went to back in the 90s and we were partying and just go and have a great time. Sometimes we would battle, sometimes we didn't. But that competition wasn't that big like that, like meaning like a tournament style, like kind of like how you see
well,
these big things like so the question is of the respect of the generation. They don't, the new generation, do you think they know, or nobody's teaching them, or do you think they're walking around with no vision?
well, okay. Look at put it like this. Um, it's not about the competition. Competition is an opportunity. If you showing that aspect every day and you promote it heavily, that's what the people will see. Okay, it's like advertise. If you're watching those channels every day, sooner or later, why I'm thinking about this, whatever soap or
Yeah.
beer or
So
car, whatever, because it's been advertised and shown so many times. Okay, so the question is, when before culture was more, let's say, evident, it was more in evidence, right? It was really effective in the imagination of people. Why? Because they were seeing that many elements was involved at the same time, and all these elements was create a certain balance. So once again, just like I realize, who are you to separate this from that?
mhm.
You being like, this is bigger than me, right? So hip hop is bigger than all of us. If I stop or you stop, hip hop will stop? No.
No, continue, yeah.
No matter how big and successful you could be, this culture will go anyway, right?
Mhm.
So at the same time, all the elements they are incorporated and part of this culture inspires also other people that not necessarily know the culture or want to be part of the culture. But once again, if I had the chance to push in hard and promote the culture, the result would be that more people would join and learn and dig deeper in the culture. Do you understand what I mean?
Definitely,
So
definitely.
it's not I should say, yes, not many people are, let's say, connected or have a clear understanding about what's going on, who's who, who's not. Okay, but I wouldn't say that people does on purpose because they hate it against. Very few put their work into it behind that. Okay, the majority they just don't know, or just they just follow the trend, the actual trend. Okay, but maybe if you have the chance to talk individually or directly, and you have a way to communicate with others without making like a intimidation or accusation, you might can discover that they don't have nothing against it.
Ah, I see what you're saying. So you can have a conversation with a person that you all have an assumption that something is going on, but then you realize after a good communication of a good conversation, you realize, wow, we actually like each other. It's not what we thought.
Yeah, it just like if you think about it, when we were and those Zulu jams,
Yeah.
you were from New York. I wasn't from New York, but I knew the majority of the people that wasn't that was around, but you didn't know that much, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't mean you was against it or you was like didn't care. You just didn't know.
Yes. You got
Why?
it.
Because everyone started from somewhere. The more they walk in the journey and they have that intention to understanding and to dig deeper, they might discover more than what they did know back then. Very few, what I'm saying is very few are really against it. They don't care and they don't promote it on purpose or or perpetrate shit.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. But this is a lack of the moment we live in. This moment, a planetary moment. It's a global moment and is way bigger and beyond our culture. It's really look. We are more and more desensitized.
Mm-hmm.
We see violence and pain every day, but every day we are more and more desensitized. We're not shocked anymore about pain, about violence.
Yeah, it shows so much.
We used to. So be like, oh, he got shot, or he cried, or we might laugh about it, right? Because we kind of lost the line that connected to the essence, to the roots of that pain. If someone comes to you and kills your brother or slap you in the face, you will realize immediately what means pain, right? But you you look like, yeah, it's nothing. It's like, oh, my glasses or my phone, pain. It's same thing. It's just an object, but it's not an object.
No, there's a disconnection in that.
You know what I mean? Because we talk about evolution, but we are still the same people. We're not better than people that used to maybe live in the in the I don't know 7th century. Yeah, why we should be better than other people that used to live in a different era?
Yep, they lived.
Because
Some lived rich, some lived poor, some live. It's kind of like the same time,
we
but not the same time.
we are product of the environment. We are product of the time we live in. So we reflect our society because we are part of this society.
Now,
Okay.
do you see anyone out there that reminds you of you with the hunger, the way you was? Like, do you see a little next one around there? When you travel around the world, so do you see the passion in other people the way you had it, or is it not that much?
I see the roots of that passion everywhere. The roots on different seeds. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The seeds of that passion, I've seen it individually on a different way from people. Okay. Even similarities. Okay. But I can say, oh, I seen it just in one person. Just like you cannot say, I see the best b-boy ever seen in my life all in one.
Yeah, you see a little bit in each, like
I
you said, a
always,
seed.
exactly. I I never I never really get caught up. My eyes never really caught up on just an idea in particular. I always got curious about details. Oh, look at that beginner. He doesn't have too much control. Uh, he's not really aware about what is he doing. Look at how the way it falls. But it's interesting that flow while he's falling. It's
Mm-hmm.
in that rhythm or that line they created, but he is not aware about it. But me on the other side be like, oh, that's interesting. That's food for my inspiration right there. Just like I can see in a pro. But pro doesn't mean that you are complete on everything. That's what
Absolutely.
some people in our culture is. I say you might be the king of the finger, my friend, but you're not king of everything. You know what I mean? You
Mm-hmm.
you might be incredible in one step or one thing in particular. So those one that have no knowledge be like, oh, that's the best in because they put titles right away. But
Yeah.
then you ask him, okay, break it down, and they don't have no words. So that's the point. All these boxes, it depends what you put in those boxes because boxes can contain anything. So I want to be inspired by things that makes me feel good.
And that's one of the reasons why I do this show, because I want to explain to the new generation. It's so difficult. If you really think about it, Mauricio, how can you explain to people what we lived in the early 90s? When you lived in the 80s, they can't have those experiences because you lived them. So when I talk to new generation and I want to explain to them there's a big shift in this disconnect with passion and how you was back then and things that were around in our time, the struggle of the streets. You were in New York City, you see how everything was. Zulu was everywhere, and all this thing now is all about the Olympics, but it's not really like the same of the embrace that we used to have before. You came to New York, boom, embrace hip hop. Oh my God, I love this. This is home. I'm in New York City. I'm for Torino, but I'm home because, like you said earlier, home is where your heart is at. So, how? What's your opinion on breaking going to the Olympics? Like, you know, like
Well,
what's your opinion? Like, how do you feel about it? Because it's not the same as before.
see, but to me, I don't put it in competition between culture and Olympics. It's just two different words. This culture can create a possibility to go to the Olympics, and the Olympics, just for the Olympics, can create athletes that want to join the Olympics. Unless while the Olympics going on the other side, they promoting the culture. So maybe some athletes from the Olympics discover there is a culture that produce that opportunity, and they might want to go look for it and be part of that culture. So that's a chance. There's a hope in the same time. So to me, the Olympics is just a platform. Just like when in the 90s, more and more it was raising the opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to traveling and judging competition. That wasn't what was happening in the 80s.
No.
Majority. I used to do that in the early 80s because I won the competition. So that gave me the opportunity. I went to Turkey, I went to Greece, I went to Tunisia, I went to, you know, but because of the reflection of that competition, if you ask me, did you care about that competition? No, I wasn't care about that competition. But when I did that experience, what I realized, it was great that I had an opportunity to networking with other people, visiting other country. So I discovered the world. Okay, but uh, my foundation was there. It was with me. So while I was using this opportunity, I was sharing culture. I was talking about the culture. I was sharing my passion with other people. Blah 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 blah. If it wasn't, if I didn't have that opportunity, maybe something today would be missing from my life experience. So what I don't like, I don't want to put nothing against each other. If you ask me, Olympics is the new culture. Culture is different.
Yeah, I agree, and I feel the
You know
same
what I mean?
way.
You know, if you speak to that kid that was uh, early '80s when it saw for the very first time breaking, that kid was into sports, was into martial arts, and jump into breaking, right? If I would have the chance to go to the Olympics, I might would do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I gotta thank God that I got influenced by the full package. That's what I'm talking about. I might can have something to say if you're just showing strictly that aspect.
Correct.
Okay, I might would share. Okay, that's fine, but there is some more beyond that. That is cool. Do it. It's fun. I'm sure it's fun. But remember, just like when I won my trophies, because I won the competition, that didn't mean I was the best or whatever. I won that opportunity. I was there. And in a particular moment, it's just like, have you been there at the red zone? Yeah, we were there at the red zone. If you would have been there at the red zone, you wasn't there.
Yeah.
You know, you missing that show. Yeah, exactly. I missed that show because I wasn't there. I was there. I won the competition because I was there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I just
absolutely.
I just give it is specific location for that.
Has anyone called you or anything so you could be part of it, of staff or judging or anything? Like people come up to you and be like, "Hey, Olympics."
Nah, not really, not really,
Not
not
not directly from like the headquarters or anything. Because I know
no.
there's different little groups here and there that were trying things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. Not not
it,
not directly in my country. What happened was the you know because I was the first uh, champion in this country in the early '80s. Is
yes.
that same federation that today are joined those competition, right? So
Wow.
basically, I'm in the book of history. So basically, I got introduced officially, that I was, the first champion, b-boy champion in Italian champion in this culture, and
What
obviously
year was that? What year was that?
85, 86, maybe
85, 86.
85, 86, 87. I won as a 80, mainly it was 85, 86.
And what's the name of the championship thing? What was the name of it?
It was okay, IDO, International Dance Organization.
In Italy.
Yeah, that was introduced. It was involved with about 30 countries.
Amazing. Now your family knows that you were into hip hop, DJing, breaking, graffiti. Basically, they are the by this time I know people know you're an artist. Your
Yeah.
family, friends. By this time everyone knows. Now, what is something people seem to misunderstand about you?
Oh man, I was an alien back then. Alien, completely alien. B. No matter I was going and do a lot of experience everywhere, every time I was coming back home over here, they might look at me like, who's, they might see like, who's this guy?
Like you came from space, like to them. They're like, now it was it dancing or was it how you were dressed, your
It was
persona?
it was everything, bro. It was everything.
Now, what about now? Is there what do people seem to misunderstand about you now?
What people misunderstanding about me now? Oh, I don't know, B. It's um, I think most of the people, I think most of the people they know only what they saw or they think they saw on videos or on Wikipedia. They read something on me, but that's some information that someone uploaded, not me.
Yeah, yeah.
But
It's not like
that
talking to you right now, and really
that
asking you.
that's some water drops for me. If as a matter of fact, one day I'll be like, I should have maybe refreshed those information because they they kind of stuck to an era
And,
that is really
and you
far
never
away.
cleared it out.
Yeah, it's stuck for an era that is far away from where I am now.
And you can leave it back there, right? You can leave it back there. It's okay.
I you know I left it. As a matter of fact, I left it because I never really be my number one priority in my life. My number one priority it keep doing what I love. When you know, uh,
And I love that you say that you're gonna always keep doing what you love, and which the following question is, if you could be remembered for one thing, what would it be?
oh man, my love for this culture.
So
My love,
meaning
when I
50,
say
60 years from now, somebody talks about the dreamer, the next one, Mauricio, they're gonna go, man, he was a true hip hop head. That man gave his entire life to hip hop.
yes, yes, I I dedicated and I want to dedicate my entire life to this culture fully, 100%.
Now, if there's a multiverse and a spiritual realm that you could be watching when somebody's saying that, would it give you a smile on your face? If they say that 60 years you're no longer with us, and they say that, wherever you at, you're gonna be like, "Thank you, guys."
Look, it's one way ticket, B. One way ticket.
Yep. Then nobody knows where it's going.
Well, put it like this. Did anybody force me to do what I do? No.
I don't believe so.
I decided to do this. Did I jump into this culture in an era that I could get something out of it? No. Nothing was a promise. Nothing was promised. I might could be a fool with a big imagination that one day, I would be part of a dream. How many people dreams? Everybody's dreams
And they
somehow,
wake up and it doesn't exist.
some, somehow, some way. But you can dream as much as you want, but there is an everyday life. There is what's going on every day by day, second by second, step by step. That's the real issue is every day, every single day. I have friends that sometimes I'm meeting and they telling me, yo, do you remember when I remember when you started? I was there too. Uh, I wish I could have never stopped. I would be like you today. Maybe yes, or maybe not. I think it's good for you You go work every day. Every month you have your check. You secure. You good. In my life, there is nothing secure. The only thing secure I have in my life is my passion for this culture.
Wow.
That's the only thing I can say for real. All the rest, I don't know. All the rest, I don't know.
And it's
All
because you believe in yourself and you already knew what you wanted. You went for it as a dreamer and it worked out. And you still, so you're basically saying, live in the moment, one day at a time, present. Be present.
yes, yes,
That's the way you every single day you take it one day at a time, but you're always living in the moment and you're aware of everything.
and accept your ups and downs because it's part of that too. But that don't mean that this would stop if that's not what you it's not your intention. Because it's not a promise. It's not a like to act
It's
like
not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee.
exactly. It's not guaranteed. It's like I promise this is what I want to do or this is what I want to be. No, as I say, this is what I feel. And I have a trust in what I feel. If somebody would tell you, look, what's your favorite food? I don't know, whatever. What's your favorite food?
Mine right now,
Okay,
a lot of food. So much
one,
food.
one.
One,
Yeah,
man, you put him in the spot when I'm hungry too. I will say, my
fries.
okay, let's say a pizza, a New York pizza. I
Okay,
like pizza.
okay, me too. I'd be like, would you eat your favorite food every single day? Unless you find a, let's say, a different way to appreciate that food, you would get bored pretty soon, my friend.
Yep, 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 yep.
But the fact there is so many ways that you can enjoy that pizza, you'll be like, I can eat that every single.
Yep, man.
So
That's
use your imagination to have fun with it.
so work with what you have.
Yeah, you gotta work with what you have. Yeah, yo, bro, I put it together my birthday jam with what I had. Never had sponsor, never had anything that would have helped me to bring together and make it happen. You know what happened? It started. It started with I'm gonna throw a party for my friends because I feel I want to share some music and have some fun with my friends. No flyers, no promo, nothing. Just yo, January 26th is my birthday. I'm gonna throw a party. That's how it started, and everybody was coming. Tons of people having fun, lot of laugh, lot of music, you know, dancing and everything. I did that like 5, 6, 7 years like that. No promo, no flyers, nothing. Everybody knew that around that time it was about having a good time. Then while I was traveling, other people find out about this jam called Age of Aquarius, right? I did that for 25 years, B.
Wow. And I've been watching footage of that through years, like Age of Aquarius. I'm like, wow.
Right. And what happened? Other people for other country, they start flying themselves and surprise me. I was like, whoa, that's a lot. That's so I'm so overwhelmed, you know.
Now
And
you still doing these parties?
yeah, of course, I just rebooted the other day. And
Ooh.
to make a
Every
long story,
year, January 26th?
yeah, to make a long story short, I started with few hours and became 4 5 days event. Strictly parties, parties. I had,
Wow.
the last one I did before the reboot I did on the other day was 2020 with a large pro came uh, at the event. Stay with me at the crib. We had it fun, and on the party, I was throwing all the all the elements that involve my passion, beat making.
Oh,
Invited a lot of DJs, a lot of dancers, a lot of different artists, and it was started like from early morning to late night.
now you doing it next year?
Yeah. So then they had pandemic for 3 years. That we had a pandemic, and I was like, "Damn, I can't do that anymore. It's too complicated. How am I gonna do? How am I gonna do?" And what happened? That basically on Christmas time, last Christmas, uh, I had a gig in this spot, and it was lovely. And the owner told me, "So what we're gonna do in January?" I'd be like, "Oh, that's interesting." And I thought about it, and I was like, "Okay, I can't do it like 4 days, like so yo. I had my house here. We had like 25 people just stay in my place."
Wow. That's
It was it was 4 days event, but I had people that arrive early and leave after. So for me, it was like at least 12 days full.
wow. So your birthday is amazing.
It's like at least 12 days and just, really
Well,
intense.
maybe I could take my wife to Italy next year and go and visit you, my man.
Hey, who knows? Who knows? But,
Because I've never been to Italy, and that would be. Come on, I'll go out there. I know you're gonna show me the world out there.
bro, it was just fun. And this time I decided in 4 days, and I was like, you know what? What it was, it is done. I'm gonna reboot the whole event, and I will start again from the just a simple party, and that's what I did on the 22nd and 26th. That's what I did. It came out nice, everybody, and so for me, I feel rejuvenated and restart again, and working already to make a summer jam because at the same time. A lot of people that was coming from different countries, they'd be like, "Oh, yo, it would be dope if we would do also if you would put it together something for the summer because it was like this we can enjoy the weather." So I was like,
Yeah.
I started doing the concrete jungle, and that was the Age of Aquarius summer edition.
And it so that's like a week or something ago, right? Like recently.
Yeah, that's what I did. It that was my
Well, I could say happy belated birthday, man.
that's
That's
okay.
amazing. That's amazing. Now this is the thing. I know we can stay here forever, but I want to do a part two because there's so much footage that I want to share with you. We're gonna end it here because we got things to do. I know you're busy. I'm busy. And what time it is in Italy right now over there?
Okay. Oh wow, it's 10 to midnight.
Look at that. You see what I'm saying? So, my brother, I
Uh,
appreciate it. It's an honor to have you here on the show. I know so many people are looking forward to this. In fact, so many people were like, come on. I know you know Maurizio. Get him on the show. And I said, don't worry, guys. I'm gonna get him. They want to hear because so many like Florida here, everyone is inspired by you. Every b-boy, everyone that I know, they're like, when I
wow.
ask, yo, so who's your favorite? Oh, Maurizio. Everyone, it's like crazy. And in New York, it was the same thing. So it's amazing that we've been friends for so long, and hopefully I get to visit you out there and just really. That's actually one of my dreams to go to Italy and and you said it like the dream for New York. My dream is to go to Italy and show
Wow.
the wife and say, hey, look where we at, and then say, hey, this is Mauricio. Like just to meet you, like You know what I'm saying? And she's a B girl too, and she's
Wow.
always looked up to you too. So it's amazing, brother. And one of the reasons, like I always say on the show, I do this show so people like yourself could tell your story and your history and let the world know like all these amazing things you've done, and not only that you could do it, everyone else could do it, and they could be inspired by somebody like you. They're already inspired, but if they stop being inspired, they're re-inspired. But I appreciate you, my brother, man. It's so freaking awesome to just have you on the show. We need to do part two because I didn't share everything. There's so much footage, but
Yeah, it's
I
okay.
can't wait. Hopefully, you do part two with me because
Oh
I
yeah, yeah.
can really, really get down to showcasing your beats, more your DJing. You can walk around, show what's your favorite record because I really want to tap into the next one's mind. But man, that room is so amazing, man. Like, that's like I'm gonna say there's $1 million there or more. It's priceless. It's
Wow.
priceless, that place there. Like straight
Wow.
up, straight up. But thank you, my brother. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Flash Talks, history worth listening to. This is Maurizio Cannavò, aka the Dreamer, aka the next one. Thank
Wow.
you, my brother. And you
Peace.
already know. Stay
Peace.
behind and we'll talk. Ladies and gentlemen, peace out, y'all.
Peace.